I just turned 21, so let me tell you about the year of 20. My birthday is May 23rd, so let's start there. The beginning of summer 2024. The whole year of being 20, I was in Canada. There was only 24 hours where I was in a different country, which was England. All of this was happening in Canada. So in the summer, I was working in a summer camp, working as like a lifeguard, like a waterfront facilitator, and I took kids on camping trips. It was an amazing time. It's an amazing job and very rewarding, especially with the youth we work with. But that's where I was in the summer.
I'm going to split each season into 4 categories. So relationships, experience, health, and financial.
Number 1, relationships. So I made some fantastic ones and some not so good ones. Summer was, I'd say, maybe the roughest time for relationships. I had a fantastic friend and we ended up falling out, which kind of ruined I wouldn't say ruined my summer, but lessened my positive experience. I learned a lot. We made up, but then again, the bridge kind of got burnt. And yeah, I haven't spoken to them since the summer ended. But I learned from that a lot. People that you endear very close to you, you should really hold them close to you, really prioritize them. I'd say in the summer, I didn't make any lifelong connections, not like I did throughout the other seasons. But yeah, summer for relationships was not the best. A lot was learned, especially for romantic relationships. I still think about that sort of relationship to this day. Yeah. The financial here, we were doing fantastic. I can't lie. That may not be the theme for the whole series. I had investments that were doing fantastic. We had a lot of money saved, and yeah, everything was going well. I had a ski program later in the year which cost a few thousands, and that was pretty much paid off, and enough money was left over. This felt fantastic financially. There was no worries, not like there has been in the past, but I did very well and saving monies and with investments. It put me in a nice position where I didn't have to worry about money. Let's talk about health. This probably peak of my whole life was this time. I was the lightest I've ever been. I was the fastest I've ever been. I definitely wasn't the strongest, but I was definitely the fittest by the longest shot. And I had 0 health problems during this time. I mean, running, my left knee was sore just from overdoing it, because at this point I'm really into running. 20s I really sunk my teeth into running and realised it is a true passion of mine, and something, as you'll see throughout this, I continue to do heavily. At this point, running, on my days off, I'd run marathons around the area just because I love the time out and the exploring of the area, and a marathon's like a fantastic way to do that. That's kind of how fit I was at that point. I was really getting into swimming as well, especially open swimming. I was really practicing and honing in on my skills and my form and my technique. I went swimming with this one guy called Declan during a storm. It was like a 1.7 kilometer swim, and probably the closest I've been to drowning. No, definitely the closest I've been to drowning. It was so tough and hard and cold, but we got it done. I did the exact same swimming, the exact same route about 3 days later. Felt amazing. It was so much smoother, and I was not close to death. But yeah, for health, we were peak. Experience. So the whole summer experience, as I said, I was at a camp in Canada, a summer camp. This experience was, I mean, I'd done it before, so at this point I kind of was kind of a bit tired, a bit exhausted. I felt like I was in the same routine as, like, I got into a routine. Days kind of felt similar, and this is not what I want. That's not why I came to Canada. That's not why I'm living abroad. It's not why I'm here. I had this viewpoint was because I spent the spring, this was when I was 19 still, I spent the spring at a camp as well. So I kind of felt tired from that point, burnt out, as it was very similar, both positions. A great experience during the summer was definitely my sister's wedding. Woo. My sister, Beth, amazing, best sister there is. It's a fact. What?
She's fit.
I'm gonna keep that in. And to my amazing brother-in-law, Adam, amazing guy. But yeah, I surprised them. My sister phoned me 72 hours like before the wedding and was like, well, I'm really sad you're not coming, but I understand and stuff like that. And I was like, damn. The phone ended. I was just like, for about half an hour afterwards, I was like contemplating whether I should just, you know, fuck it and go. And I did fuck it, and I did go. And yeah, it was so worth it. It really shows how much I mean. They showed me how much I mean to them, and so did I. Like I put in the effort that they deserved to go see them for their very special moment. And yeah, I hadn't seen family in a long time, and it was a beautiful moment. I walked in looking like your average Mancunian into this wedding venue with everyone in suits and lovely dresses. And yeah, they didn't recognize me at first, which was very funny. Ears were tiered. The party afterwards was great. I even got to see I saw my whole extended family. I'm so glad I did that. A really special moment. And now I have brownie points over my sister for the rest of her life. So I'll be cashing them in one day, Beth. So you better watch out. For experiences, that's about it. The summer reminded me a lot of the previous summer. At least I was there doing something new and something I did enjoy. Like, I was outside every day. I was either on the water or I was doing a camping trip. And yeah, the impact made on youth was really felt. I really tried to make a difference then, due to just being I don't know, bored. Okay, time for fall 2024. Yeah, let's talk about it. I was in different places during the fall. I was working on farms throughout Canada.
I bet that looked good.
I bet that did. I was working on farms in Canada, mainly on the East Coast. I was in 2 farms in Nova Scotia, 1 in Quebec. So I'm going to talk about them each individually, and then I'll talk about it as a whole. First farm I was at was interesting. So I just finished being in the summer, surrounded by people the whole time, about 40 people. Always someone to talk to, always things to do. And then I moved to this farm in Nova Scotia, and there was nothing to do. I worked my 5 hours a day. That'd be it. For the first week, a Czech couple were there, which were awesome. Drove me to different places around Nova Scotia, which was amazing. I got to experience all those different places. After they left, it was so lonely. Even straight after I left with the Czech couple there, I still felt pretty alone. I was used to that community. I lost the community. I ended on a bad note. Like I said previously in the summer, that one person that meant the most was gone. The one true person I connected to was gone. And so to talk to, I had no one. Where a lot of thinking came in. I had so much time alone. I had so much to think about, my past, my actions maybe during the summer, my actions even further back. I had time to think about my future as well, which is kind of the point I went there to experience something new. That's why I was working on the farms. I went to experience something new I've never done before, and I thought that was the best way to do it. Go fly, to a different province you've never been to, and yeah, just live it. And so that's what I did. The work was great. I mean, the work was hard, but it was something. I do like hard work. It makes the day go by faster, and you really feel like you've earned the rest of the day. The guy that I was with at the farm, I know he means well. There was always a kind of sense of like him down looking on me all the time, obviously because I'm a younger person, looking down on me and trying to implement like masculine ways onto me, which was an experience I never had before, and I'm kind of glad it happened, because now I know what it feel like what it feels like to be in that position. That was the farm I was at. Hard work. Me and the owner of the farm, we worked together, but that was about it. So yeah, I had all this time alone, and so I just ran. Really, I ran. I explored the new areas. I was getting really fit. There was also a gym at this farm, which was amazing. It was like, if me and the farmer got along more, I probably would have stayed there a lot longer. But we didn't get along that well. I didn't feel too welcomed, so I just ran. I worked out and ran, and that was it. Like, I would do the hard work in the morning from 8 till like 1. I'd then finish and go work out. I actually really enjoyed it. If I had some more company, my God, would it be so much better. But I was living my life as an old man. I lived in a caravan. I'd do my work, eat lunch, run, work out, and then I'd do a puzzle. Like, it was idealistic. I really enjoyed that type of life. That taught a lot about myself, is that how much I like that life of just, that hard work, working towards a goal, right? Like, oh, we have to fix a pig pen, or oh, we're building a water feature, or oh, we're picking grapes in a vineyard. It's comforting, and I really enjoyed it. Always having something. Well, soon you find there's always something to do. You fill the time. After this, I then went to another farm in Nova Scotia, just about 10 minutes down the road, which was it was great fun. I hope they're doing well. The wife wasn't too well for when we were there. She'd just come out of hospital, and the guy himself, he does a lot of work. He was 72, and the guy was always moving. He was lifting pumpkins, bagging fruit, driving to Halifax to sell fruit and vegetables. He was an active guy. It was admirable, the amount of work and effort this guy puts in at 72. Both farms I learned a lot of skills. Like, I learned how to drive at the first farm. I learned how to use quite a lot of power tools, all these things. And then the next farm, they taught me how to drive a tractor, which was awesome. I don't know if you've ever been in a tractor, but it is awesome. It's just like a monster truck, but country. My father then came to visit while I was at the second farm, which was so nice to have a familiar face, because I hadn't had one in like 1.5 months. I hadn't had a familiar face. It had just been new faces. He came, he worked, he had fun, he lived my life for a bit, and we ran 50k, and this is kind of what I've been training for, and I absolutely smashed my goals. I was aiming for 5-hour 50k. I got 4 hours and 47 minutes, which felt huge for me at the time. I left everything I had on that course on that day, and yeah, it was a beautiful day. It was a fantastic day when you really get to show off your hard work that you've been putting in. It feels great then to like put it to use. My dad also finished the 50k, respectable time, 5 hours 50, something like that. And yeah, and soon enough my dad then left to go. Yeah, that's Nova Scotia. But I kind of want to talk about my relationships in Nova Scotia. Sorry, Mum, close your ears. But I went on dates for the first time ever, and they were so interesting. I thought they were cool. But yet nothing came from them, and none of them were pursued. They were all first dates, and that was it. They were all such a unique experience. I'm so glad I did them. That introduced me to dating. I thought I'd step out and try it in the farms of Wolfville. I had a great time with pretty much all of them. Nothing came of them, but it was cool to experience that for the first time. I recommend it to everyone. Yeah, the first one's scary and uncomfortable, but then pretty much after you meet them and you've talked to them, I don't know, it's just like a normal person you've met. Dating gets a thumbs up approval. My financials at this time were not doing too hot. They were stagnant. I stopped investing. I usually copy people who know what they're doing. The person I copied stopped, so I stopped because I didn't know what to do. Working on these farms, it was all volunteer, so I wasn't getting paid any money. Financials were stagnant. I shouldn't say they were poor, they were stagnant, which is okay. Health was fantastic. I may have even been fitter here. I looked fitter in summer, but in actual, maybe measurable scales, like VO2 max, I probably was fitter. That was just due to training really hard for my 50k, and also the work. I was working a lot, and then I'd run. I'd do like heavy lifting, walking around the farm. Yeah, I was pretty fit. I wasn't ill once. That's pretty much Nova Scotia, but that's about 2/3 of the fall. We have the one last part, which was maybe the best experience traveling. The experience here was definitely unique. I had a new farm in Quebec, which is French speaking. I wanted to practice my French. So I could have flown there, I could have got a bus or a train, but I wanted to do it a bit differently. I really wanted to make an adventure of it. So I hitchhiked for the first time. And this was, one of the most amazing travel experiences I've ever had. I got a lift, Wolfville to Halifax from the farmer I worked with. And then from there I was on my own. I had a goal, Montreal, and I was in Halifax. Heard you can do it in one day, so I gave it a go. I got a bus to the airport. From there, I had so many offers for a ride. In 1 hour, about 10 people pulled over. I don't know if you ever hitchhiked, but that's insane. The rest of my experience was not like that. Such a nice first experience, because all these people pulling over, I wrote a sign, spelt where I was going wrong. Next stop, a lift to Truro. There I didn't have a good time. I was there for about 3 hours. People were swearing at me, spitting at me from the window. I was just chilling on the side of the road. What these people's problems were? Probably me. I don't know why I was a problem. Usually I know why, but here I didn't. So I walked to the other side of town, which took me about 40 minutes. Got a lift within like 15. I then made it to a place called Moncton, which now is in New Brunswick. I was there for an hour. The gentleman gave me a lift the next town over. I can't remember. And then I got the final lift to Fredericton. By this time it was dark. I stayed in an Airbnb and I was like, I need to arrive today. I was like, I can hitchhike or I can use an app called Pop a Ride and get there pretty easily for not that much money. So I did that. It was $100 and they got me to Rawdon, where I was going in Quebec. Nearly 1,000-kilometer drive, which was insane. And that's where I would then go into my next chapter of farms, which was the Buddhist self-sustaining tree nursery farm. My favorite one. I love this one so much. The people there were, so welcoming. And there were people. Usually it was just me and like the farmers that were there and not many other people. But here there was so many people. There was about, I think at max there was about 16 people here, which was awesome. There was someone to talk to. My experience here was pretty much all positive. Some days I'd be in charge of making the food for the 16 people, which they would regressively put me in charge of. I would make potato lasagna. But all the food there was fresh, just made. The potatoes I used for that I picked them out of the ground yesterday. The meat was all frozen. You might think, how do Buddhists eat meat? Roadkill. And farmers who have maybe lame animals that they need to put down and can't get rid of. So that's how we'd get the meat. The food, my stomach had never felt better. When I wasn't cooking, food was amazing. I learned a lot about sustaining culture. I learned how to make a lot of apple juice. Probably made over 100 litres of apple juice when I was there. One night that'll stick with me a lot. We wanted leaves that people raked from their garden, and they put them in bags here in Canada and on the side of the road. We then went in the big pickup truck, built up sides, huge wooden boards, and we'd go outside these houses at like 10 p.m. at night, and we'd grab the bags and throw them in, and we'd keep them. And then I remember just being in these huge bags of leaves, sat in the back of this pickup truck at like 11 p.m. at night, just driving around beautiful Rawdon. It was a great time. Everything here was a fun experience. I met the monk that lived there as well. He was from Iran, I think he's from Iran. And yeah, he was an interesting character. It was such an interesting place and such a heartfelt place. My French didn't improve. In fact, this is the place where I gave up on French. Just realizing how really complicated it is. Maybe I shouldn't have gave up, but oh my lord. French, what's your problem? Everyone was so friendly and nice, and everyone was always down for a deep chat, which was awesome as well. I love a deep chat. Health here, I started gaining weight more. Was my goal to gain more weight? Because I was running a lot, way more, the most I ever ran at this point. I was running 80, 90 kilometer weeks. And believe it or not, I was gaining weight while doing this. I made sure I was eating a lot of great food. Yeah, I did get an injury here from running. My left foot, I got tendonitis, which is really sore. I hobbled my way home halfway through a run. And yeah, I had to rest for a few days, which I never had to do with an injury. That was due to overtraining. I learned my limits and where I was going wrong. And I didn't get it again. I ran a 100 kilometer week and I was fine. That was the fall. The fall was a big experience, big learning experience. A lot was learned, a lot of time spent a lot alone, learning about myself, my past, my actions, my future, trying to experience as many new things as I could, which I feel like I did successfully. The fall was good. The fall was really good. Go experience what it's like to work with these people who you would never interact with. Yeah, that was the fall. Maybe the best one yet. To the winter. This, I can 100 million % say this was the best winter I ever had in my whole life. Let's talk about the experience. Spent the winter in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Worked as a ski instructor, which has always been a dream of mine pretty much since I ever first went skiing. I had the privilege when I was younger to be able to go skiing quite a few times, about 4 or 5, and it was amazing, and I loved it so much. I knew skiing probably go pretty well. Just teaching people how to ski, do something I love, and it did. It really did. The first part of the experience, I was at a hostel for not too long actually, about 2 weeks. Ski program. It's done by a third party, not done by the mountain, done by like an agency. And they fucked us over. We had accommodation, and then once you paid some money, they let you know that that accommodation no longer exists and you'll be staying in a hostel, which was obviously a huge letdown, especially for the amount of money we paid. Paid around, put it up right here, that much for just the program, which was a lot. Living in a hostel for 2 weeks with all these other people who mainly from England and Australia. The room I was in was awesome. Met a very important character in my life, and a very important character that'll be in my future. And no, it isn't a woman, it's a man. And no, I'm not gay. His name was Oliver. Instantly when we met, I don't know, there was a connection, and a connection I've only ever had with a select few people. I'm so glad I met this person. He's set my life on an amazing trajectory, and then met more fantastic people. I met Jack, I met Elle, I met John, I met everyone who knows who they are that I've not mentioned yet. I met all those people. It meant a lot while I was there. Being on my own, basically, with no English familiar people, and now I was. It was a breath of fresh air. I met these wonderful people, and soon I moved out of the hostel, moved into an apartment with 4 other people. 5 people in a 2-bedroom apartment, being absolutely scammed by rent. 1,200 each, so that's $6,000 for a 2-bedroom unit. Those 4 people, we had our ups and downs. My living experience after the hostel, I'd say, wasn't as pleasant. Though I was in a hostel in a room with 4 people, I'd say I had a better time in there than with the 3 people I was in a room with. Just a lot of clashing personalities, hugely different backgrounds. That de-elevated my experience of the winter. Not everything can be perfect. I'm grateful to have had it because it's also a learning experience. You learn more from a bad experience than a good experience. Working as a ski instructor was absolutely incredible, especially the training part where it was just, I love progressing, I love getting better, especially in physical feats. And so I getting better and better, and I put my heart and soul into getting better. And I did get better, and I got very good in from my standard, from where I was. I went in thinking I'm pretty good. I was shit, I was so bad. How dare I think I was good? I then went on to get better and better. I got my level 1 professional ski instructing certification, and I got my level 2. Which was, just felt so good as well. I put a lot of effort into earning that as well. The teaching part was fun when you had adults or maybe even some youth groups. Kinder camp, miserable. For me personally, I like dealing with someone who you can have a conversation with, not having to wipe their nose, tell them their mum will be back soon, just put your skis on. It was such a unique experience. I really consider doing it again, especially now I'm level 2. Vancouver was so beautiful. Maybe one of the most beautiful all around places. Sure, there's spots in everywhere I've been, but consistent beauty, Vancouver does that incredibly. I mean, the city part was pretty shit. Waterfalls, the hikes, the trees, the ocean, the mountains, the skylines, amazing. Health, I packed on some more weight here. I was a pretty big guy. Stopped running at this point because skiing took a lot out of me physically. But I started going to the gym more, lifting weights. I think 92. It's the heaviest I was here. In Feb, I started running more and more. The health was great. I didn't get ill once. Health, yeah. Financial, wow. So let me tell you, scared about not having a lot of money. More money going out than coming in. Do not do a ski season in Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver is the most expensive city in Canada. Your pocket feels it. I had to buy ski gear when I got there, a whole new set of everything. Cost me a lot of money. Rent cost me a lot of money. Everything cost me a lot of money. Financially, we didn't do well. We tanked a lot. We tanked a lot. And we did not have a lot of money. We were scraping the barrel sometimes, but we got there. Relationships. I went on one date. I got asked on a date that I didn't go on, like a wuss. Because I'm used to me asking, and then a woman asked me, and I got scared. I need to invest in a person more romantically. My non-romantic relationships, I made some of the best friends ever. I've already said it, but they were amazing, and it was so nice. Us all living close together, similar interests. It was fantastic. We'd play board games, we'd go on hikes, we'd go on runs, we'd go skiing together. The winter, I was poor, but I was rich in experiences. That's for sure. And qualifications, I got quite a few. And yeah, I have a career path to go down now if I was ever wanted to. I could follow the winter everywhere I go, but I don't think I'm going to. It's a nice option. for sure. Maybe I will. Maybe minds will change, but right now that's not what I'm interested in. Winter was great. Winter was great. Spring was tough, physically tough. Mentally was great. Let's talk about the experience. So last year I came here in the spring 2024. I'm doing the same thing. This time it feels different. It feels way different. I felt like I'm refreshed to being here. I'm here for, I facilitate programs, arts, seeing animals, archery, climbing walls, large group games. I feel like I've really gotten good at it. And I do enjoy it once groups are here. I enjoy the fun that you have. I enjoy the groups that come here, and I enjoy giving people that experience that they'll hopefully remember forever. And being a part of that is like special. Feels very special. Feels like you can make a difference here. The start was a little bit rocky, but now we're all good. I got here and it was still snowing, but I had a goal now. I had a 12-hour race booked, an ultra event. I wanted to run 100 kilometers. So I would wake up every day and run. And I'd learn I'd hate that. I hate early morning runs. I don't like the cold and running. I think I had at least 7 weeks at 100 kilometers. Huge training weeks. Left me exhausted and tired a lot of the time. It did affect a lot, I feel. You put tensions in some places. That led to then some relationships getting a bit tense, but it also led to those relationships being confronted and talked about in a deeper way, which has made bonds with each other stronger in a friendship sense.
$1 bills and I'm all about the paper. You know.
Financially, I'm doing well again. I don't spend too much money here because I have food, I have rent and food paid for. So I don't spend too much money, apart from when we go out on the odd occasion. Even started investing again. Winter we were here, spring we're here. My biggest experience was the actual race, the 12-hour event. About 4 weeks prior, I'd fallen very ill. At least I've been in a hot minute. Couldn't eat any food, was vomiting a lot, and I was sore, very sore, no energy, which was awful as I start my taper towards this big event. I was also raising money for this event, and all these people supporting me, I felt like I owed it them to try the best I could. And getting for falling ill, it just it really put a downer on me and on the whole event for me. I felt like I lost fitness, which sucked, but we pushed through. We got better. We ran some little amounts, and then it was time. We ran 75 kilometers. We didn't reach that 100. Made a lot of mistakes in that race. We ate too much food, which led to a bad stomach. I then should have rested and waited for it to pass, but I just pushed through. So it made the stomach issues much worse. The heat kicked in and I couldn't stop vomiting the whole race. I got to 50k and I could not stop vomiting. 50 kilometers took me 6 hours. I was on track. I then did 25k in the rest of the time. I was a zombie. I had no energy and I was exhausted, but I just kept pushing through. I nearly passed out so many times. I feel like I did. It was a tough one, really tough, mentally. Physically as well, but more mental. I tried my hardest to get as far as I could, and I did. I'm proud of what I did, but now I know what I know, I can go much further. So that'll be coming in the future sometime, maybe 2026. A big event like that. That is about it, and that's my year. That's my year of 20. I'm now 21, and the future holds some fantastic things I'm looking forward to. Going to New York to see family for the first time in 15 months, then fly to Vancouver. I have a few days, and then I go on the biggest adventure of my life. A 16,000 kilometer bike ride with Oliver from the winter series. And honestly, I cannot wait for that. The lessons I'll learn, the experiences I'll have, places I'll see. It's going to be unimaginable, and I cannot wait. You made it to the end, thanks for watching. There's a lot to watch, a lot to hear from me. I'm going to be able to watch this when I'm 80, if I make it that far. 70 is more likely, and be able to see what I did in the year of 20. Thank you.